Hi, our next session will be conscious management. Mohit Bansal is an IT Delhi graduate and seasoned data analytics and consulting professional. A devoted student of the Mother and Sri Aurobindo, he explores diverse fields of human knowledge through their teachings and has created content and delivered lectures based on those insights. At Auroville Litfest, he brings an integrally conscious perspective on business and life. In his spare time, he shares reflections on the masters on X via @Auroville. Dr. Pankaj Gupta, alumnus of IIM Ahmedabad, is a global academic leader currently serving OP Jindal Global University as a professor, executive director and senior fellow of Jindal India Institute. He earlier served in senior leadership positions at organizations like IIM Kozhikode, IMT Ghaziabad, Symbiosis Bangalore, University of Washington, USA, IIHMR, etc. And he is a recipient of several awards, including the Fulbright Fellowship, Most Innovative Idea in Management Education Award, Rashtriya Shiksha Gaurav Award. His books include Spirituality and Management and Heartful Leadership. Thank you. Please have a nice session. Thank you.
Can you hear me now? Okay. Namaste and good evening to everyone. It is always a joy to be here in Auroville. I have been here multiple times, and every time I feel a new aspiration rising in me whenever I go to the Matri Mandir or visit different aspiration centers that Aurovillian have built up. Today's session that we have on conscious business management, it may seem like a bit of a mundane topic compared to what other themes were discussed today. But if we go deep into it, we see that the same eternal truths that underline Auroville are also suggested in this topic. The first question that comes to my mind when I think about conscious business management is, what are we to become conscious of? And as a corollary, I may also ask, what are we unconscious of? If I look at us sitting in this room, in this pavilion, right? Pavilion of Unity, I see that we are limited in this space. We don't know what is happening outside these walls. And that is a kind of unconsciousness that is built into our human structure. We don't know what is happening in a geographical space outside our sensory purview. In terms of time also, we see that our consciousness is limited to the present moment. It is limited to past memories. It is limited to a bit of the future we can predict. But the large amount of time is outside our consciousness purview. In terms of causality, we understand how things work due to scientific rationale that is provided to us. But still, why things happen, what would happen next, we don't know. Because we don't know the exact why of things. And in terms of our own identity and self, we know a little bit of our surface waking personality. The large amount of subconscious, subliminal, superconscious is hidden from us. So we can say that our human consciousness is like an island of consciousness in a vast ocean of unconsciousness. But this is not the whole of conscious existence. Sri Aurobindo details that the consciousness of unity underlies everything. And this has been spoken on, by multiple mystic traditions throughout the world. What Sri Aurobindo additionally tells us is that this consciousness of unity can be made dynamic in our life, and it can be a part of our everyday existence. And to do that, we need to include a new consciousness in our day-to-day existence, which is the supramental consciousness. And if we can do that, then our everyday existence can become life-divine. This consciousness practice, any consciousness practice that we have should include these two components. One is enlarging the limits of our consciousness, removing those unconscious layers, and additionally, exploring other domains of consciousness that are outside our purview. If we look at it from a business management point of view, I would say that as a business leader, I would ask myself, in terms of space, right? I would ask myself, am I exploiting a community in another part of the world for my own gain? Am I exploiting the environment in the wider world for my gain or prosperity of my local community? In terms of time, I will ask myself, am I looking at my short-term profits, my next quarterly report? Am I looking at the short-term value over long-term profit or long-term value that I'm generating from my business? In terms of causation, I would ask, what are the second and third order impacts of my decisions, rather than looking only the first order impacts? I would look at the complete data and complete picture before arriving at any decision, because I want to know what is the impact of everything, every force that is there. And finally, in terms of myself, I would like to know where the decisions are coming from. What are the impulses that are there in me? Which level are they coming from? Am I treating my employees fairly? Because they are also complex human beings who have different levels of their needs. Am I treating my customers right? Am I knowing what they actually need instead of what they say they need? So conscious business management starts with asking these basic questions, and then we explore. As we increase our range of consciousness, we can provide profitable solutions to all these problems that we face in the world today. I would like to end with a quotation from the mother, which I think encapsulates this very well. And this was a message to Auroville she gave in 1971. She said, for each problem, there is a solution that can give satisfaction to everybody. But for finding this ideal solution, each one must want it instead of meeting the others with the will to enforce one's own preference. So she mentioned that there is a win-win solution that is possible every time. The only thing is that we should want it and we should aim for it. And the final sentence is, enlarge your consciousness and aspire for the satisfaction of all. So this enlarging of our consciousness will bring us to a conscious business management as well. So with this, I'll ask Dr. Pankaj Gupta to share his thoughts on this, and then we can go through a round of question and answer.
Thank you, Mohit ji. Thank you very much, Madam Jayanti Ravi ji, for inviting me, and thank you everyone for being here. See, already much of the very profound knowledge has been shared by Mohit ji. I'd like to say that, somebody who is already conscious will do whatever they do with a conscious mindset. So for that, a level of self-awareness is very, very important. Not like, I'm running fast, but I'm running in what direction? How much money is needed and why? Do I need power? Then why? If I'm looking at many material objects, what is the level of my inner consciousness? Is it really empty, hollow? That is why I need more and more. Or I am full inside. Therefore, I may be wearing even a normal, ordinary cloth or whatever get-up I have, but my inside is full. Therefore, I am shining with my own consciousness. I have seen people, because I have worked in government and then corporate, then now in the academic world for a long time, and I have seen different kind of people. There are people who are born, they are just running, they don't know why they are running, and one day they are gone. And then we talk about certain terms like, the Shamshan Gyan and the Mrityu Bodh. But such kind of realizations are very less. People are running without understanding what is the purpose of life, whether only I, me, myself exist, or there is something term known as a we. I talk about illness, we talk about wellness, and many such issues are there. Profit versus the profiteering, many issues are there. And also, the Shidhar Bambuji was here and he was talking about his passion, how he's transforming the rural place, how aligning people with their swabhav and swadharma. That is really fantastic. But many of the, like some youngsters also sitting here, how we are choosing the job, which is giving me the highest money. Maybe the money is being given, but the kind of job I'm going to do there is not of my liking, but still I'll go there. In the same way, every business organization, they also go through different layers of consciousness. One is a pure, like, we also know different chakras are there. Like we start with the, the Pranamaya Kosha, and that keep going up to the Anandamaya Kosha. In the Pranamaya Kosha, we talk about only the basic survival. I should be, getting a good cash flow, good sales, and I should be making more and more profit. And when you make the profit, sometimes you do not even realize the impact. From where I'm deriving my profit, if I'm charging more, are there certain section of the society who really need my product, but they are not able to afford it? Or when I'm making that money by my artisans, then am I distributing a fair share of the money back to them? In Africa, the term, one term is known as Ubuntu. Ubuntu, you would have heard about that, like we all win together. Somebody did one experiment and they put a box of fruits. And they said, okay, you run fast. Whosoever runs first, they will get the basket. But the children ran together and then they shared the fruit. They said whether we all win or we all lose. But this may seem like something with a higher level of consciousness. But you see that the profiteering, what is need versus what is a greed. But these questions only that person can raise who is having some taste of what is self-awareness. Am I talking about a feeling of abundance, or I am dealing with the matter of scarcity all the time? So these are my initial thoughts, and also we need to understand the people who are full from inside, they will be good for everybody. Because who is doing the business and for what purpose they are doing the business. There are people who say, yeah, I want to just, for my 7th generation, I have to have money. But, what kind of life they have lived? Life of like a miser. Acquisition, 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 and then one day you are gone. Then what kind of life have you lived? And it is not about one person. It is about the whole philosophy. Because the kind of person you are, that get reflected in your family, that get reflected in your business. So we need to also think about that business is also a function of who you are. If you are a conscious organization, then it will flow. And then naturally it will start flowing from the level of, from the Pranamaya Kosha to the Anandamaya Kosha. And also different employees are also going through different level of consciousness. Shall I stop? No, but I can stop.
Sure.
You can ask other question. Because I'm so passionate about this topic, and I am a professor also, because professor can keep talking. So, yeah.
So actually you talked about purpose, right? So
Yeah.
right now a lot of employees feel disconnected with their organization in terms of this purpose. So recently I think everyone heard about a recent IT giant CEO who said people should work 70 hours a week, right? And people and some of the employees think that why should I give my effort for someone else's purpose? So how should conscious leaders answer this question and make people part of a single purpose?
Very nice question you have asked. See, the person who asked, anyway, all great regards to him. Whatever kind of life he has lived, he would have not seen that anything beyond that. I'd like to say that maybe you have got $4 billion, $10 billion, then so what? Who is rich? If you have got $10 billion and you feel, I wish I had $100 billion, then who you are? You are a poor man with some money. Nothing else. So we have a saying in ancient thing that was we say that चाह मिटी चिंता मिटी मनवा बेपरवाह जिनको कुछ ना चाहिए वो शाहन के शाह. So the meaning is that no desire, nothing left, and I am worry free, chill. And only that guy is rich who want no more. The mind of the thing, you have $100 billion and still you want, oh, 101 ho jaye. If you know 150 ho jaye, then you are actually a greedy man. You are not satisfied man. And when you are dead, even if you're living 5 billion or even 1,000 rupee, does it matter? We have this philosophy that poot kapoot to kyon dhan sanchay, poot sapoot to kyon dhan sanchay. If your son or your daughter is worthy enough, then why to, hoard money? Or if your daughter or son is not that worthy, whatever money you acquire, that all will be going away. So the moment, what kind of life are we living? Are we living life happily and enjoy? And also, we should see that not only my circle of love should not be I, me, myself, my family. It can still be the core, but not the boundary of my love. I, me, myself is fine, maybe the center, but not the boundary of my love. So when I am going with that direction, so coming back to your question, so I was telling about that person, because the kind of person life he has lived, you see that person has shrinked a lot. I know him personally. Not really a very great model to follow, according to me. And see, the question is, when we talk about 70-hour work, there is always a tussle. Somebody who is giving you money and somebody from where you're taking the work. The person who is giving the work, he or she always want to give less work and take more. So that is a struggle all the time. And always there has to be a balancing act where you say that I am taking a reasonable work and I am also giving you more than reasonable money so that I am also able to retain you in my company. But the question is that the people who are working, they are not working as per their Subhav and Swadharma. That means they want to do something else, but they are being, because it is a highly paid job, so they are working on something else. So that is why such kind of people, they want TGIF. TGIF, Where is TGIF? Boys, the girls in the back? It is, TGIF is, thank God it's Friday. Oh my God, thank God. What a bad week I had, Monday to Friday. Now, thank God it's Friday. So I can chill out on Friday, Saturday and Sunday. That is me time. And those people have a Monday morning blues. Oh my God, I have to go again to the office. But that is a very clear signal that you are not loving the job, what has been given to you. So this is a very clear signal. Choosing the right people who are really passionate about that job. And I had created a model on which IIM Ahmedabad wrote a case study on my leadership. So that was a model where we talk about you find the Swabhav and Swadharma based on passion, ability and faith. That is the Ruchi, Yogyata and Vishwas. And if that is aligned and you're working that work, let me give you one example. One of my students, he was very fond of drinking tea. So I suggested, why don't you become a tea taster? So he became a tea taster in Tata Tea. So all the time he's sipping tea either in Darjeeling or in Colombo. So he's chilling. That guy will never need. Thank God it's Friday. And for him, it will never be Monday morning blue. Because whatever he or she is doing, it is always chill. Maja aa raha hai. So we need to really counsel and choose the right kind of employees. And to tell them, if you're really working well with all your heart and soul and with the ownership mentality, good results will follow. Then it doesn't matter whether you work 30 hours or whether you work 70 hours. 70 hours of work without soul and without passion is useless. Like in my university, we work only 60 days in a year. Remaining 300 days are free. But believe me, we are as much productive as, in any other university where somebody may be going every day, putting their thumb impression, या showing the face, कहते हैं ना मुंह दिखाई कर रहे हैं हम लोग था नहीं पहले कि new bahu was coming, then so in some places there is a face recognition, sometimes the thumb impression, but in spite of that, people are sitting there, whether they are really being productive or not. So we need to create our HR policies in such a way so that you attract the right talent, you give them the right motivation. And it is not necessary, according to me, to work really 70 hours a week, sir. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Definitely, sir. I agree with you. But at the same time, suppose you're really loving drinking that tea. So even 70 hours of tea tasting is blissful for you. No, sir. Maybe green tea or whatever. I'm just giving an example.
You can refer my resume to that tea tasting company, please.
Sure, sir.
Um,
Have I answered your question, sir?
Yes, yes, completely.
Yes, sir.
Recently, I was actually reading something about Auroville. There was a PhD thesis by Suryamai Clarence Smith, where she talked about how every decision in Auroville includes a subjective component. She calls it subjective objectivity.
Yeah.
So, how can leaders introduce that inner dimension in their decision making? Any practical guidance you can give there?
In what kind of decision making, sir?
Any kind of decisions that they need to take. For example, in this COVID time, right, there was a stress to lay off the workforce, or due to AI, there is stress to change the workforce somehow. So how can they take these decisions that impact people's lives more consciously and with an inner attitude?
Okay. See, I was president and vice chancellor of a very prominent health university, and when this COVID was there, and we held a meeting together and said, that this is a challenging time. We have to really work together. And you see that the team together, they were aware about the situation. They together gave me ideas worth saving crores and crores in no time. Secondly, we were generating a lot of money by doing program MDP, Executive Education Programs. And those programs, we were making a lot of money, but because of COVID, people were not able to come there. Then suddenly my team said, we will do online MDP and FDP, EDPs. And we started a new regime altogether. So it is not always a time to fire people. I'm also an accounting professor. Before I turned into a spirituality, all my book and work has been in the area of accounting, finance, corporate governance, like that. But then I shifted to this field. So in the accounting domain, there is a system known as you get what you measure and reward. Many times we are measuring the wrong things. But I have always seen that if you tell people that we have to work on this problem together, they will come and they will give us so many ideas which will even surprise you. But many times they will not come up and they will have their own kind of apprehensions. So I believe that we have to involve people and also create the right kind of incentive structure there. Like what I said, if you are giving ideas which are saving money or generating more money, I will give you 20% right away. So they generated a lot of money and saved money, and we are able to do that. I'm just giving one example, but there can be many such examples. Because one is value-adding activity, one is a non-value-adding activity. What we do, we fire people in the name of right sizing, downsizing, smart sizing. So we are cutting people. Arey ye bekar, isko hatao. But question is that we do not cut on the non-value-added activities. Somebody is coming, then checking, then rechecking, then rechecking. Follow-up 1, follow-up 2, reminder 1, reminder 2. What are these? These are simply wastage of energy. So if we cut that, we can also save a lot of money. So cutting down on the non-value-adding activity is better rather than firing people, because if you just fire people in an unconscious way, you have to see that what impact will happen on their families, their children. So person has to just keep a hand on the heart. And what we were also doing, we were doing a huddle decision making. We all, like 5 people are getting impacted, we will hold each other like a huddle, and then we'll say, these are the situation, problem, why it is a problem, then how to solve it, these are the options, please tell me how to handle this. And then until everyone is coming to a unanimous way, We would just keep discussing. I would say, okay, take a deep breath. What feels to you? And when everybody was aligned, then we were taking the decisions. And when the team is aligned, Mohitji, then there is already a magic. Then they will also make sure that those ideas are implemented in no time. So in this way, while not applying only the formal authority, but applying the moral authority is very important. Because we have seen bosses who say, my way or highway. That means follow what I am saying, otherwise get out of the door. But I have seen those people when they retire, nobody bother about them. They cry in silent time. I have seen very high profile officers, very high profile CEOs. They have crushed so many people while they had this power. But later they had a very lamenting time in their private life.
No, that is very true. And I have seen in my own organization how if people are given the opportunity to develop at their own pace, they produce innovations that are basically beyond our imagination.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. I think you focused on how we are focusing on extracting value, right, from employees rather than treating them as human beings. Sometimes.
So I will not say extract value. Co-creating and nurturing the value.
Co-creating.
Because the moment I say I want to extract value means I'm becoming like an exploiter.
Right.
I'm saying I'm giving you money, you better give this to me. There is like, there will always be a problem. Am I giving more or am I getting enough? So that tension will be there. But the moment we say we are part of the team, we are co-creating the value.
Right.
And also all the time, increasing the size of the cake so that you can have a bigger pie if we all are aligned that way.
Right. So some companies are extracting value, some are co-creating value. I would put it like that.
Yeah. Because it's a normal corporate
Yes.
culture.
Right. So, but how can companies create an environment where they can focus on integral development? So when Shibindo talked about integral development, he had, in his view, the complete picture of human personality, right? All the levels. But at least the companies can start making some investment in their in the development of their people. So how can that development be integral in a way, including their intellectual, emotional, physical, all their needs are met so that they can be most fruitful for the organization as well as for the wider community?
Yeah, I agree with you. It is a very good thought. You see in any relation, like you look at any romantic relation also, you see physicality, then mental and emotional connect, economic development, social development, and finally the spiritual development. So we have to keep changing the gear if you really want to have a great relation. In the same way in business, there are different gears. One is learning and growth, then internal business process, then there is a customer delight, and then there is a financial and intangible, financial results and the intangible results, like the goodwill, the patents, how many research are there. So in all these goals, there should be proper alignment. But you see, we are many times just stuck on one parameter, like, if we say only money should be generated, but later you see that, okay, learning is not happening, employees are getting obsolete. Now, in the time of AI, if I do not train my people, then what will happen? They will become obsolete. My internal process, I still say command and control model, that will not work. So, and also customer delight, we have to always take care. We have to always see that not even the people, when they come to us, they are customer and they go as a satisfied customer. That is a normal thing. But I need to convert my customer into advocates. People who are coming to me, they can, touch, moved and inspired. They become our brand ambassadors. So the good results, good financial results will anyway follow. And with that, they will also be, our fragrance of goodwill will also spread. That will be giving us more and more repeat clients. We shall be getting more and more repeat customers. So that all will lead to that whole thing.
Right. I think we have only 2 minutes left, so I'll just ask one last question, and then I'll open it to the audience. With the recent developments in artificial intelligence, right? So there is a lot of threat that people are perceiving on their jobs.
Yeah.
And there is a tendency to think of either doomsday scenarios or very optimistic scenarios.
Mhm.
So what is your assessment? How would AI impact the business management practices and the work culture as a whole?
AI is writing on the wall, like the way some time back there was calculator, then computer came, in the same way AI is here. So it is just a matter that we need to understand that AI is there, we have to ally, but AI has to work as a good servant, not a good master. So we have to be mindful of that. And AI is what? They are simply churning from the existing knowledge, whatever is there. But they are not in a position to create new knowledge. And for creation of the new knowledge, our own consciousness, and you know that we are talking about the human consciousness, which we talk about only at one level. But we should be aware that there is a three-level consciousness level, which is sub-level of knowledge, like subconscious, then collective subconscious, then divine subconscious. In the same way, there is a superconscious, then you know the collective superconscious, and then the divine superconscious. So we are living only like one level of consciousness, while three below and three above. In the same way, the domain of knowledge which are there, the more creative ideas will only come through the human intelligence. This is what I feel. And but AI has to be always kept as a friend. And it is not the way, like in the US when I went first time, I realized even a small kid, they are not learning the tables and all. They said, you know, when they know how to use 2 plus 2 equal to 4, their mind should be used in some better things. So in the same way, maybe we shall be talking about some better ideas and better level of human consciousness will go. And I have one or two more ideas. I don't know whether I'll have time further or not. Sure. Just a minute. So the leader, business leader has to, one is in the conscious leadership, the CEO has to always have a model of trusteeship. Should always know this is there, this too shall pass. I should not get too much attached to anything. Isthita pragya. Today there is a profit, don't feel so overjoyed. Tomorrow there is a loss, don't feel bad. This all shall go away. Working like a Raj Rishi. Though you may be a Raja, but your heart of a Rishi. And you should also know your different employees are there, they may have different gunas. Tamasic gun, Rajasic gun and Sattvic gun. So that also you have to use. Like somebody who is having a Rajasic gun, you put him or her into sales. They will generate very good results that way. So you should be very much clear what is the nature of my employee and what exactly is their inner nature. So that is also part of the conscious leadership. And you see that as our Prime Minister Sahab says, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas or Sabka Prayas. So the conscious leader also does the same way. Like everybody's effort, everybody's Vishwas, and that is very, very important. And I have already said that there has to be a combination of both Vidya and Avidya. Avidya is like money, more and more monetary outcome. Vidya is inner journey. Sa Vidyata Vimuktaye, that we should be clear what is binding me and what is liberating me. What is real and what is unreal. People should also know that money, position, power, even relationship, they are not the real one. They will go away. So you should be giving a limited importance to these outcomes, while your spiritual progress is the ultimate thing. So that also people have to keep in mind. And as Buddha said, last parting word was, you know, the Aap Deepo Bhava. Be a lamp to your own life. There is no need to just follow this model, Coke model, Pepsi model. If, like the way we had a very shining example here, Sridhar Vembu model, he became a light for himself. And I'd like to say last thing, you know, that if the inner thing with your own consciousness is getting fuller and fuller, then you are blossoming as a person. And the people, the employees, the customer, whosoever comes in your touch, they will also get transformed. And your own life is anyway getting transformed by your efforts. And there is a 7 7S model of leadership, which I just want to mention, which all the people of the conscious leader they follow. That is Swabhav, Swadharma, then Sankalpa, then Sadhana, then Swasth, Seva, and then you get Siddhi. So that is a model which I created way back in 2013. Like, from Sankalpa to Siddhi. And so this can be a very good model of, the manifestation, whatever you wish to do. And we all are interconnected. And nowadays, there is also a focus on the ESG and Penta bottom line. It is nothing but another manifestation of the conscious leadership. When you are really caring for our planet, our people, our process, you're talking about the environment, sustainability and governance. So that is also part and parcel of our conscious leadership. So I believe that conscious leadership is not only one, it cannot be taken in a single way. It is a very composite way. It is a very integrative way, as what our Aurobindo ji and mother have always propounded this whole philosophy.